Hi, I am Jess, and Jess is checking out books as usual. If you've been here before, hi. If you have not, hi. Okay, so usually I do not have a June TBR or any kind of TBR, but this month is going to be full of books that I want to read for various projects, and there's a readathon going on, so I want to make sure everything is contained. Everything else I read outside of this is up to me. But these are the basics. So for sure, I'm going to start with on June 13th to the 20th, Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany has got a queer readathon going on, and it's romance, and I love that. Normally I'd be doing this for damsels, for deconstructing damsels, but I decided to hold off on this one for a bit because I'm gonna enjoy doing it kind of here too to talk about differences, and you'll see why in a few minutes. So, I'm going to give the novellas I'm going to be reading plus the novels and how they intersect a little bit. The first one I'm going to read is Mechanics of Love by Mika James for this one. And it is, again, a short one. And all of these, except for The Duke Heist and The Perks of Being a Wallflower, are from Scribd, and it's their own publishing, so they're very short novellas. They're all audiobooks. I guess this is what I read now. I basically just read audiobooks. All right, let me tell you about Mechanics of Love. And it's complicated because I have glasses, I have a mask, and I have a screen over here, and it's all kind of blurry at the moment. So basically, what happens is this woman gets lost or stuck somewhere, and her car is broken down, and she meets a mechanic, and it's a queer, queer romance with two women. The first heroine is Irene, and she is very professorally, like that's kind of what she does. And Remy, who is her love interest, is not that way. Is very much more by the seat of your pants. It seems like it's going to be very fun. We'll see how this goes. And by the way, I've never actually read Mika James, so this is going to be very interesting. I keep wanting to call her Jones. I don't know why. But I've never read her, but I've been very interested in reading Mika, so I've seen her around Twitter, especially, on romance stuff, so fun stuff for me. All right, and then I have Life After Love by Imogen Harkwell Tweed. And this is one with what happens if the person you love dies. Do you continue on with the romance? And I'm very interested in this. This is a male. It is kind of got the supernatural element to it, which I appreciate. If you know anything about me, I kind of like that paranormal, supernatural, especially my romance. So I can't wait to see what happens with this one. I don't want to go. I have all these descriptions on there, but honestly, trying to read them on the screen and talk to you is a little bit difficult. So we're just going to go with what I can read quickly, okay? And then we have Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera. I've actually wanted to read this one for a while. I own the ebook, I just haven't been able to read it. And then when I was in the mood, it wasn't. I know it's Christmas, I don't care. It's another female romance, and I like the fact that it deals with food. And to me, food is almost a love language, so I can't really wait to hear this one. And then we have Be Gay, Do Crimes by Christine Ladd. This is like if Thelma and Louise were actually the couple that should have been in the movie, from what I can gather. So I'm going to find this very interesting. And then finally, we have, for the novellas, Leather and Lace, which is about roller derby, I believe. Yes, it is about roller derby or roller skating in general, and I'm just here for it. I haven't heard about it before, so I'm hoping that the author Lydia Westing does really well. That's going to be its own vlog for the Queer Romance Readathon. And then I'm going to check in occasionally with The Perks of Being a Wallflower to go also in it. I'll be reading Erica Ridley, The Duke Heist first, because I really enjoyed The Governess Gambit, by the way. Erica Ridley is one of my favorite romance authors, and I read it a while back, and I owned the ebook of The Duke Heist. I bought it like when it first came out. I cannot read them right now. I don't know if it's because I had the panini. I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant. I don't know if my brain is just going differently. But basically, it's a leverage style setup where one of the characters falls for the guy they're trying to trap, right? So I love that. And Erica Ridley always has some nice little like twists and turns. So I'm definitely there for that part. And then The Perks of Being a Wallflower is part of the queer readathon because I don't know if it's implied or stated, but I know at least in The Governess Gambit that Tommy, one of the lead characters in the family of leverage style I would like this because you're not doing very well for other people, is non-binary, and I like that. And she's in a relationship with a woman, I believe. I think that's what I remember from what little bit I remember reading. But I think it's going to be very interesting because I'm always interested to see what people are going to be talking about and not talking about, and so I'm kind of there for that. Again, Erica Ridley is one of my favorite romance authors. I've read so many works by her, probably like 7 or 8. She's just one of those names that I will either buy or download or I'll listen to or something. And it was not available on Scribd or Libby, so the only way I could find it was to use some of my Audible credits. So I did that. I do not consider this a bad thing. Now, those are two different vlogs. So Erica Ridley will be her own, and it will kind of incorporate into the queer romance readathon and the other way around. And my dog is getting very unhappy with me recording right now because this is interrupting her nap time because we're normally asleep. I have a few more vlogs coming out this month. It's ended up being a vlog heavy month. I don't know why. I was just going through and putting things together. It is what it is. So one of them I've technically already filmed because this is coming out a little bit later in the month than I wanted, but I've had really bad exhaustion on this part the last half of my second trimester, and I just have not been able to record, but I have been able to listen and read, so I have done that. So in that one, we have the au pair, and then we have little darlings. So the au pair. And the au pair is about what happens if what you think you know about your family is not what you think. And how do you reconcile that, and how do you find the answers in a world where they do not want you to know? I will be talking about this again because I read it, so the vlog is coming probably not long after this video goes up actually. And then I read Little Darlings, which has got a horror, supernatural, psychological, postpartum psychosis kind of deal going on with it. Very different from this, but I picked it because they're both twins. So I was like, both books are deal with twins and what happens and how do you know the truth and how do you find out and things to that nature. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Then, the next two are Woman in the Window and The Dead Girl in 2A. Both of these have mixed reviews on Goodreads. I have seen that, just like the au pair did. And we'll see how that goes. But The Dead Girl in 2A is talking about someone that was on an air flight in the business class to Denver, and suddenly just can't figure out how he knows her. Then they find out, blah, 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 blah. And then they kind of like what happens when they get off the plane, and a figure has kind of brought them together and see what's going on. I have got the audiobooks for both of these. One from my library and one from Scribd. So again, easier for me to read. And these are going to be a vlog. I don't know what the heck I'm going to name the vlog, but it's going to be a vlog. And then this one is interesting because Erin from Booked and Busy also has this on her shelf. I don't know if she's going to get to it or not. But she said if she doesn't, she's going to get rid of it. But I already had it, and I have bought it. And I'm a big fan of reading what I own however I can. And that is what I'm going to be doing. We'll see how this goes. In this one, it's this lady lives alone. She can't really go outside. She spends her days drinking wine, watching old movies, reminiscing, spying, you know, the usual like Alfred Hitchcockian type stuff. And then neighbors move in, and it's a father and a mother and their teenage son. But like, what does she see one night when she shouldn't? What happens? What's the secrets that's coming out during that time? What's real? What's imagined? You know, what's psychological? Is this actually going on? Stuff like that. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. Again, it's got mixed reviews. I knew that when I bought it, by the way. I just chose to purchase it anyway. Because I got these, like, by the way, I should mention I got these 3 off of Media Mops, which is kind of like, I guess, book outlet in Canada maybe, or some of the ones like off of the US where you can buy so much, you get free shipping. I think it's like $10 here. So I got a bunch of books. Like most of my bookshelf actually came from there for the most part, or from eBay. I don't purchase new books very often. And these were all used, and I thought, hey, why not? They were under, you know, like $2 each, so why not give it a chance? But that's the last of the vlog. There's 4. I planned on 4. I planned on like 2, and then It's growing. But I'm trying to clear out. So Alyssa Reed talks about clearing out her bookshelf, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do, but for different reasons. With with the baby coming, I want to make sure that I have cleared out some of the space for Nora's books thing. I want to just make sure there's space for her to be on my bookshelf as well. So I'm just going through the shave basically. Finally, the last little bit, and then I'll let you go. We have, the Duke Heist, which I talked about. We have OCDaniel, which is a middle grade about a boy who has OCD. And, he gets these cryptic messages from somebody about talking about being OCD. And it seems like it's going to be a nice, fun book about what's going on. And then you have Antitrust by Amy Klobuchar. Yeah. So I'm going to be reading that, and it's about the antitrust laws that are set up in the U.S. This is very important to me as a U.S. citizen. Yes, I live over here, but I am a U.S. citizen, and I'd like to keep up with what's going on politically. And antitrust laws are very politically based right now when you look at the way that companies are kind of eating each other. Look at publishing, for instance. So I want to keep that in mind, and it's like an audiobook. And then finally, I have Malibu Rising, which probably everybody knows about. But Malibu Rising is a book set in like the 1980s, very dynasty, written by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is great because I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. They are sitting on my shelf actually. It's not going anywhere. It's one of my favorites. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this works because the character that was mentioned in there, they kind of pivots a lot of this, and that one was mentioned very briefly in Evelyn Hugo. So I'm very interested. Again, audiobook. That one I own. So I own The Duke Heist, Perks of Loving a Wallflower, and Malibu Rising, audiobook wise. I am renting, I guess you could say, I'm using Libby for OCDaniel, Antitrust, Little Darlings, The Au Pair, and one more that I can't remember offhand. And then the other ones are all coming from Scribd. So I'm getting them from a variety of sources this month, and hopefully that will help out. But that is my June TBR. Any other reads I have for the month are for me. And I'm trying to leave myself at least like room for 3 or 4 books that I just want to read, just for the heck of it, because I am a mood reader. And that's all for June, TBR. Whew, it's a lot. For someone that doesn't have a TBR, that's a lot. Thank goodness, like pretty much all the queer readathon ones are novellas, so it's like 3 hours or less on the audio. So I can read those and kind of get them done throughout the day and kind of balance whatever else I'm reading at the time. All right, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. Tell me what's on your TBR this month. Is there something that's really making you excited? Is there something that's come out recently that you just cannot wait to get your hands on? I will talk to you later and we'll see what's going to come up next on the list. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of filming because I have that little bit of energy. We'll see. Bye.